Hey guys, welcome to Denim Pearls. My name is Brian Swanson.
Dr. Michelle Mras. We are Denim Pearls. We are business casual.
With Pearls of Wisdom, and today we're talking about big time.
I'm on the way of making it.
Yeah, Peter Gabriel, right?
Yep.
So we're going to cover a whole lot of things today. Probably everything from technology to, I don't know, food control. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to find out here in a little bit.
Big time. So, I mean, everyone's like, I'm going to make it one day. I'm going to make it. What does make it mean to you?
Oh, so you're going a different route on me than what we talked about before, kind of.
No.
Anyway, that works.
Yeah, where are you going? Go.
Oh, I was going to talk about, we were talking about computers and how it has, how we always have an opinion on how it's going to change our world. And we turn out to be wrong. And then I find out recently that things are just the same as they always was.
Same as it ever was.
So,
well, I was at a conference this past weekend, and we were one of the conversations I had where we were talking about AI, and people were like, "Oh no, AI! Everyone's afraid of AI." And one of the ladies in the group said, "Well, it's just like having a cell phone. When they got rid of house phones and moved to cell phones, everyone's like, oh no, this is terrible. Well, everyone's going to be all over the place, blah, blah, blah." We were afraid of cell phones. When we had the internet come out, oh, internet's terrible. It's going to do this, all this. And now we have AI. Everyone's doing the same thing. And all we've done is just incorporate it. And Brian's really big into AI right now. And so what I wanted to talk about today about big time is we keep moving up and we fear the new up.
We always fear. I mean, it's different. Fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest thing that scares me about AI is the fact that, yeah, you can use it as a tool, which is that's what I have in my head. It is a tool to help you with your business. It's a tool to help you with whatever you're doing. I have seen some memes where it's like ruling somebody's world and they can't have a conversation person to person without seeing, okay, he said hello.
Good morning. They said hello.
So that's taking it to the extreme, but where it really scares me, and I think this is what scares us anytime there's a fear of something new, is the bad people.
How are they going to abuse it?
How are they going to abuse it? I heard a report today about something, I don't remember what it was, but how these people are starting to abuse it and how can we control it? And then that turns around and it gets into how do we put legislation and how do schools manage kids doing AI? And what do they call it when they copy everything? Plagiarism.
But now they have filters that stop plagiarism.
Well, there's also filters out there that can generate and figure out whether you used AI or not used AI. But I found out there's some stuff in the background that can help curb that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of details behind it, but more technicalities. But what I'm finding out is I remember back in the day, computers were the savior to everything. They were going to make everything so much better. You'd be able to write a Word document, and at that time it wasn't even called Word, but you'd be able to write this up and print it and find it and everything else. Well, what they didn't tell us, which we learned over all these years, first of all, you had to get the data in for the data to come out.
Same thing with AI.
Same way with AI. The other thing was, too, it doesn't always find the right data. So you have to make sure that it knows the right things to find the right data.
In other words, you have to double check what happens.
It's not just double checking. It's the fact that, for instance, I'm using ChatGPT. I tell it to generate an image, which I know you smart people out there, ChatGPT is not that good at images. But I tell it to generate an image. It looks great. And then I say, well, get rid of this because it will get rid of this. And then it comes back with a totally different picture. Now I'm spending more time fixing what I want it to do than I did when I was creating my own images.
I don't know, the images that he's been building of me, I'm at least 5'7", and I love it.
That's just the perspective.
Yeah, but I got really tall in this image. That's
believe it or not, the Denim and Pearls ones have been really easy because one of the things I'm not doing with the Denim and Pearls, I'm not using a live background or a real background. So we don't use this background on the AI images because once you start doing that, the generator wants to manipulate the background, which takes up more time because I want it to get right. And then I got to take it into this program and that program. Oh my gosh. And that's what I'm doing with some of my marketing for my DJ stuff. And I'm about to get to I'm almost to the point now after a few weeks of figuring this out, just to let it do what it's going to do. Because it takes less time, and who cares if it's right or wrong as long as the date is right and that it's karaoke, or whatever event that I'm doing. So
my question to all of you is, what are you using ChatGPT for, whatever program you're using it for? And do you just full out trust it? Do you let it go big time? Because it will go big and it will not go home. You'll have to bring it home.
yeah, and mind you, this isn't just ChatGPT. This isn't any AI.
As I said, whatever program they're using.
Yeah, because there's so many AIs out there now. I mean, there's Claude and there's Grok and there's this and there's that. And
As I said, whatever one you're using.
And a lot of it has to do with
the industry.
Which one you're using.
Well, aren't they also industry specific too?
They're not necessarily industry specific, but they are. I mean, just like Chat alone has two different environments. It has the original chat environment, which you ask the questions and analyzes a few things, blah, 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 gives you the right answer, searches through websites, what have you. Then there's the work environment, which is actually meant for calculations, where it goes in through and it can create spreadsheets and look at numbers, and it's just crazy, but it does the deeper calculation type stuff.
That's what I mean by industry specific.
Claude has got some different things. Grok is good with images. There, what is it, Nana Banana or whatever is really good with
I don't use it.
There's all these things that I could be using a different.
I'm completely behind the curve when it comes to AI, which is why you're in my world, because I'm not touching it. But I was also one of the last people, I think, to get a cell phone. So,
well, the way it was described to me in a video that I watched, which was like 3 hours long, and it described it very well. When you first got it, remember the HP calculators that when they came out with them?
Of course, I'm an engineer.
Yeah. So the plain old HP calculator, what did it do? What was its purpose?
Make engineer student. Yeah, never mind.
It added and subtracted, multiplied, divide, whatever. If you got a fancy one, it would be square root.
Let's say mine did derivatives and plotted things.
Right, but I'm talking about the original calculator. The original calculator was intended just to add numbers, add, subtract, multiply, divide, and maybe a square root. And then they added in the power, square power.
For those of you who are not in your 50s or late 40s, a calculator is the thing you find on the main screen of your phone where you scroll and it has numbers where you can add and subtract.
I already said that. But anyhow, but the way AI was described to me is there were calculators. And then we moved up from that into, like you said, the fancier calculators with scientific notation and all that blah, 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 blahs. But they served only one purpose. And then we got a cell phone. And our cell phones were meant to do two purposes, three actually. They added a camera into it. You could dial the phone.
And they were pagers.
And text messages. Those were the three main purposes. Well, now we have smartphones. And smartphones have got anything and everything. There's an app for that, right? So AI is in that stage right now between calculator and the original analog cell phones. There's a purpose for all of it. Everyone has a purpose. Nobody has created yet the AI that is like our current smartphones that allows us to do anything that we want. Yes. They haven't yet. That's the thing. And so creating that is going to become, it's going to be crazy, and it's going to be easy for us doing workaround or trying to work with it and using it as a tool for our businesses and that. But it's also going to be, I always think of the negative side too, of the idiot that comes up with a great idea to, I don't know, set a time bomb, whatever. There's always somebody that wants to do something negative with whatever technology.
My thought process is, and if it's not out there, you might want to do it, because I know I can't do it. He could probably do it actually. Is build AI specifically for just lawyers, AI just for law enforcement, AI and so that they can use the program and it's like their accumulated knowledge into one database.
Well, I'm going to burst your bubble.
It already exists.
They're already using it for 911 someplace. I think it's it's either Texas or Florida, but I think it's down in Texas. And the crazy part of it is one of those TV shows like 911 Texas or whatever. They actually did a whole show on the AI taking over the emergency 911 calls. And yeah, it didn't go so well.
Okay, about
You
to
know,
say, because it would take out the emotional element.
well, and that was part of what they were talking about. It takes away that personal um, call answering. So if somebody gets in there and they really feel that they can feel that it's desperate, whereas the AI goes, it's just another call.
Yeah.
You're just another number.
You're the 3 boxes have been checked. The 4th one has not. Okay, we'll just take this in stride. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, but then now, that show was last year sometime. Now they're actually implementing some of that stuff and testing it down in, I think it's Texas. But I thought it was kind of cool personally to see that it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening, and that's what we discussed at the PACAF event.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Federation of Filipino American Associations.
I was going to say PACAF is Pacific Air Force.
It's NAFA. Anyways, the thing about it is we were all talking about, we can kick and scream and not want to do things, but, a lot of us were kicking and screaming for the internet, saying, oh, this is going to be crazy.
Right.
It's cell phones. Now we're doing it with AI. And I guess the bottom line that came down in the conversation is AI is here to stay. It's not going. And it is developing and growing. So for those of us, I'm including me in that, who've been resisting it, we have to realize that progress is progress. Big time is coming, okay? And that you have to justify and figure out where you want to play in this big game because AI is coming. And my thought is I need to learn more about it so that my competitors don't start using it around me because
well,
I'm
I
behind the power
I
curve.
think part of it is some people are using it not as a tool but as a primary resource.
A guide.
And using it as a primary resource, especially right now, or if you haven't trained your AI, it can be cumbersome is a word, but not the one I'm looking for. It's ingenuous, and you're pawning off stuff that you think is yours, and it's AI generated, and it's not yours. And people want the genuineness.
Yes.
It's like every news article out there is probably generated with AI in some way, shape, or
Which
form.
is why they say the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
So
so for those of you out there, like in my world, as a speaker, as an author, those kind of things, you want to either train your AI to know who you are so it speaks as you, not you and 15 other people,
right.
Those kind of things.
Which is not an easy process, but it can be done. Other thing is too, dealing with the Comic-Cons and stuff is artists. There is the argument from an artist that it's stealing my artwork
in pieces. Yeah.
In pieces part. Well, I can see that, but there's also times when it's not. But I think you also, as an individual and being an honest individual, selling somebody else's artwork that either has a copyright on it or has been done by somebody else, just in general, whether they had a chance to copyright that work or not, it's plagiarism. It's fake. It's whatever. So for somebody to steal somebody else's artwork,
even unintentionally.
Yeah, even unintentionally. At the very least, if you're going to sell something like that as a vendor, make sure at the very, 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 very least that you're saying it's somebody else's property and it's AI generated. And that's just where we're at now. Videos fall into that category now because computers are generating memes and stuff like that, and they're taking I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and putting
putting his face on someone else,
on Obama's face on it or something. And I whatever, I'm just making up things, but
things like that. There was a movie where Star Wars did it, where they took the original actors and made them younger and reused them, even though Carrie Fisher passed away,
right,
and they put her in the movie,
right.
Even though she's gone,
well,
she was still there. But this things like that is that they also had to say that we put her in. They put her in,
right?
And they said she's been AI generated. But
well, part of that is they still probably still own the copyrights to her image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to get back to, now I lost where my brain was. There was this old movie, and I keep saying Buckaroo Banzai, but that's not it. Yes, there's a movie out there called Buckaroo Banzai in the Fifth Dimension or something. But
I actually remember that.
Where they basically the whole premise of the movie was AI people took their image and then they were killing them off. And so the people watching the movies and watching the shows didn't even know that the actor was gone because they've been AI generated. They were still doing shows and commercials and showing up at things, and they weren't really there. And that's where my fear as a speaker goes, because I'm like, oh my gosh, AI will eventually replace me. And Brian's like, no, and Robert Brunet said, no, they have to have you because there's no emotion in that AI yet.
Well, that's the way we see it. I mean, we can
all learn it. Have you not seen Westworld?
I thought you said West Wing.
Westworld.
So anyhow, Big Time. Why the title Big Time? Because we've covered a lot of technical AI type stuff, not real technical, but we've covered the AI stuff. Where does that become big time?
Well, the reason I had the word big time in my head was because people keep saying they want to make it big. And to make it big, they need to be able to cover more ground. To cover more ground, they need to be duplicated. They need their thoughts to be able to duplicate. So that's why they use AI to make their posters and their memes and write quick speeches and do outlines. And to be big time, you need to be able to have multiple arms. Well, with AI, you have the multiple arms. You have the multiple venues, that avenues you can go. And what I wanted to get to with the whole big time was you can use AI to your advantage. But remember, at the core of it all, like Brian said, it's still you.
Well, I also look at the fact that if you think big time and you think of any actor, actress, whatever out there, I mean, Marilyn Monroe did not have AI. Did she really need it to become big time? I mean, she's a legend. You know, John Wayne.
No, none of. But they're bringing them back, is what I'm saying.
Well, bringing them back is a different thing. It's not trying to make them big time. But if you're as an independent business person or an independent, like you were talking, a lawyer, a doctor, and you want to be big time, AI is a possible tool. Yeah, but you don't need it because nobody else needed it.
Let me reel you back. Big time is defined by you. Don't look at social media for big time. Big time for you could be, I wrote one book and I never even gave it to anybody, but big time is I got it out of me. You see what I mean? Your big time is defined by whatever you do that makes you happy, that makes you feel confident. It doesn't mean you have to be on some big screen and millions of people know you. Big time could be, my children love me. I mean, it could be that simple. Okay.
That would be weird to use AI for that. AI, how do I raise my children?
It's coming.
Yeah, I just watched a whole movie on it called Mother.
Yeah, and it was scary. That's an inefficient mother. We must get rid of her.
I just watched that yesterday. Anyway.
So big time really is what I wanted to get to. Big time doesn't mean you have to go bigger, broader, faster, stronger. Big time is how you define it. And if you feel that you have to do the whole movie star, billions of watchers and Instagram followers, millions, to find yourself not at peace, but at peace and comfortable with where you are and being, I did it. You don't have to go big. Big time is defined by you. Success is defined by you. Don't fall into the trap of what everybody else says big time is.
I have to have a yeah but in here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. But in order to have what a lot of people are trying to do nowadays with online presence and influencing and stuff like that, it's not always necessarily just the fact that they want to be big time. It's the fact that they want to generate income. And to generate income, AI can help you do that. In fact, it overhelps in a lot of cases, but it does mean followers. It does mean influencing a bigger number of people. But it also falls into a trap. Don't get me wrong.
I'm talking about the layman, the people who don't want that.
Right, but yeah, if you don't want that, that's different. But if you're trying to be big time within that world, it takes the followers, and hopefully they're genuine followers, which is another argument.
What's really cool about
bought or paid for
in my world with the whole big time thing and followers is AI is able to generate spreadsheets of the things and the topics that hit well with my audience, so I could focus more on particular topics. That's how I like AI, because it helps me narrow down my focus, because I'm a little bit all over the place. And
Well,
in that way,
I remember back in the day putting a speech together, and you had to sit down and you had to manually, by your brain, think about what you were going to cover step by step by step. Whereas with AI, you can at least say, "Hey, I need to do a speech on the color orange.
and it gives you,
Give me my bullet point. Give me 5 bullet points."
and see,
And then you can edit or subtract it, whatever, add or subtract.
well, and I have my little recorder thing that I talk to, and it will give me a summary, and then I can put it back in and say, what are the top hottest points of what I just said?
Right.
And then it will say, well, you said this, this, and this, but the theme that you seem to be talking about is this. I do, oh, okay, well, I'll go there. And that's how I like to use AI, because it narrows down my thoughts. Narrows my thoughts. It will narrow my thoughts and my processes, and then connect all of my seemingly out broad thoughts into one subject line, and then I can theme it, and it's pretty cool. So anyways, big time. It's all how you define it.
I think we got it.
Yeah, because in my world, I like what I do, and I don't need to grow much larger than that, and I'm happy, because my whole thing is big time is not the money thing for me. It's more of a impact, and I like that. My big time is impacting lives. What's yours?
That's a trick question at the moment.
Yeah, you should have saw his eyes. He looked at me like, huh?
Now, repeat your question again so I can formulate an answer to this so I don't sound like an idiot.
AI.
What about it?
No, I said, what do you define success? What would be considered big time for you? With me, it's not the actual dollars. It's the impact on people, changing lives, which happens to run into money and dollars and things like that. But what would be your idea of big time and success?
In a way, you're asking me two different questions from my perspective. One is, what is success to me? And two, what is big time?
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Because we've been talking about it, and we're talking about them as two things, but a lot of people consider success is big time, and I'm saying they're separate. I'm asking you separately. What's big time for you?
So success is just to get through life at this point. I'm not fully targeted in on whatever, but teaching the knowledge that I have, which is what we accomplish here, is
sharing it.
Yeah, sharing or teaching is probably a bigger focus than almost anything else. But when I think big time now, that's when I think about money. I want money, but I don't want too much.
What's too much?
Well, there's some people who say that if you make too much money, you're going to hell.
Well, yeah, that's.
I want to know what that number is so I can make $1 less. So that's my idea of big time.
Okay, that works. I consider big time. I have my yacht that I go on once a year or twice a year, and go do what I want to do with no problem.
Well, I think I think in a way we've accomplished a lot of that.
We have. That's what I'm saying.
You're on more places than I am currently,
I'm pretty happy.
Running from from here to Croatia, or we're next year Philippines, doing things like that. That's not something I ever pictured going on in my life when I was a kid.
You're welcome.
It's not all you. Some.
Such a large portion of it. But see, that's the whole thing. Is right now my idea of success is looking at my children and realizing they're happy adults. I mean, that is huge for me, because I always thought that I would raise terrible children that would be completely lost in the world. And I'm so glad that they aren't, It's just...
Well, I'm going to have to make one distinction. I don't want to cover this topic right now. Maybe we can cover it next week. But there's a difference between being successful, making it big time, and leaving a legacy.
Yes, let's talk legacy next
yeah,
week.
Legacy is
that's huge.
Because what I'm learning a few things as we're going through life here. I got a phone call, here recently about a friend of mine who's having medical problems. He lost a friend of his who had, and my brain goes to legacy.
Well, and we're going to talk about that next week, because my next collaboration book, Hold My Crown, Women and Men of Grit, Share Stories of Resilience and Vulnerability, will be out next week. And We will have the cover for you to
Who's
see
in it? Who's in it?
and,
Who's in it? The
yeah.
reason you should buy it.
Yeah, because somebody's in it.
You should buy it just because I'm in it.
And what's beautiful about it, it's the second version of this book, of the Hold My Crown series. It's the second book of this. And what's beautiful about it, we are talking legacy because there's a lot of us, a lot of authors in there, and they all talk about what they're leaving behind for their people, their family, and what they've gone through. And legacy's huge. So join us next week. Make sure
I got so many comments right now.
make sure you like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube page. And we'll see you next week. Okay, we'll talk about legacy next week. My name is Dr. Michelle Mras.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
Remember, big time. We're Denim Pearls with Business Casual.
With pearls of wisdom.
From the porch. See you later, guys.
Peace. Where's my fingers? There they are.